Welcome to Wealth of Words, the show where we crack open a book and really get those neurons firing.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm Richard Tanley, your co-host for this literary adventure.
Fun.
Tonight, we're delving into a book that's been whispered about in boardrooms and book clubs alike.
Oh, yeah.
Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
I'm Isabella, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Now,
This book has sparked so many aha moments for readers worldwide, and I have a feeling tonight will be no exception.
Isabella, this book challenges us to flip the script on how we think about success.
It does.
It's about shifting our focus from what we do to why we do it, and that seemingly simple shift, well, let's just say it's got some serious ripple effects.
For sure.
What really struck you about this idea?
Well, the brilliance of Sinek's idea is its simplicity.
Okay.
Most of us, companies and individuals alike, get caught up in the what and the how. We can easily rattle off what we do, how we do it, but when it comes to the why, that deeper purpose, the driving force behind it all,
Right.
well, that often gets lost in the shuffle.
It's like we're all wandering around a metaphorical supermarket, overwhelmed by choices, but we've forgotten our shopping list.
Yes.
The why is that list, right?
Exactly.
It gives us direction. It helps us filter out the noise and focus on what truly matters.
Exactly. And Sinek argues that inspirational leaders and organizations, the ones that truly make a dent in the world, they don't just sell a product or service, they offer a belief, a cause to rally behind.
So they start with why.
They start with why.
Okay, now, to help us visualize this, Sinek gives us this really neat model called the golden circle.
I love this part.
You ready to take us on a little mental geometry trip?
Always up for a good mental workout.
Right.
Picture this, a circle with 3 layers.
Okay.
At the very center, the heart of it all is the why, the purpose, the belief. Surrounding that is the how, the processes or actions you take to bring that why to life.
Okay.
And finally, the outermost layer, the one we're most familiar with, is the tangible products or services you offer.
So it's like an onion, right? We're used to peeling from the outside in, starting with the most obvious layer, the what.
Right.
But Sinek is saying, hey, let's go deeper.
Yes.
Let's start with the core, the why, and work our way outwards.
Precisely. Most companies work from the outside in. They focus on the what, maybe figure out the how, but the why often gets lost along the way. But those truly inspiring leaders, the game changers, they flip the script, they define their purpose first, and then everything else, the how and the what, flows naturally from that core belief.
Like Apple, I mean, everyone knows they make those sleek, shiny gadgets.
Right.
But that's not why people stand in line for hours to buy the latest iPhone.
Exactly. Apple's why isn't about selling computers and phones. It's about challenging the status quo, about empowering individuals through technology.
Right.
That's their core belief, and it resonates deeply with their customers. Their how is creating user-friendly and innovative products.
Yeah.
And what the final result of all that? Well, it's those beautifully designed products we all covet.
So they're not just selling a product, they're selling a belief system, an idea, a way of looking at the world.
And that's what sets them apart.
Okay.
It's about connecting with people on an emotional level, inspiring them to believe in something bigger than themselves.
Okay, so now I want to pause here for a moment and throw this out to our listeners.
Yes.
Think about the brands or individuals you admire. What's it about them that really draws you in?
Okay.
Is it their products, their marketing, or is it something deeper? A sense of shared values, a feeling that they get you. Because chances are it's their why that's resonating with you.
Right.
It's that sense of connection, of belonging to something bigger than yourself.
And Sinek doesn't just talk about this in theory. He backs it up with some fascinating real-world examples, right?
Right.
Like the Wright Brothers.
Right.
Here we have 2 guys going up against well-funded, established teams trying to achieve what was considered impossible human flight.
Yeah.
What do you think kept them going?
Well, it certainly wasn't fancy gadgets or slick marketing campaigns. I mean, those guys were tinkering in their bicycle shop.
Right.
They had limited resources, but they had this burning passion, this unshakable belief in their why to conquer the skies. And that why fueled their determination, their resilience, and ultimately their success.
Powerful.
So for our listeners out there, I want to challenge you.
Right.
Think about your own goals,
Yeah.
your own aspirations.
Okay.
What's the why that drives you? What's the deeper purpose behind the things you want to achieve? Because when you tap into that why, it's like unlocking a hidden reserve of energy and motivation.
It becomes your internal compass, guiding your decisions, shaping your actions, helping you navigate the inevitable ups and downs of any journey worth taking.
That's beautifully put. And Sinek doesn't just stop at the individual level.
Right.
He takes this concept of why and applies it to leadership as well.
Absolutely.
He dives into this idea that true leadership isn't about barking orders from the top down. It's about inspiring others by authentically sharing your vision, your beliefs, your why.
That's right.
Creating a shared sense of purpose, a common ground where people can connect and collaborate. And one of the most powerful examples he uses to illustrate this is Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, I was hoping you'd bring him up.
His I Have a Dream speech. It's not just a speech, it's a masterpiece of communicating a why.
Powerful.
He wasn't just listing demands. He was painting a picture of a future where equality and justice prevailed. And that vision that shared why resonated with millions and sparked a movement that changed the course of history.
It wasn't about manipulation or coercion. It was about inviting people to join him on a journey towards a better world. A world built on shared values and a profound sense of purpose.
And that's what authentic leadership is all about, isn't it?
It is.
It's not about forcing your ideas on others. It's about inviting them to join you on a journey driven by a shared why, a belief in something bigger than ourselves.
And that shared why becomes the glue that binds a group together, that fuels their collective action and propels them towards a common goal.
So starting with why isn't just about individual success. It's about building movements, creating lasting change, and leaving a positive impact on the world. We've covered a lot of ground here, and there's so much more to unpack. Let's take a quick pause. We'll be back in a moment to explore more insights from Start With Why.
Sounds good.
Don't go anywhere, folks. Things are about to get really interesting.
I can't wait. Welcome back to Wealth of Words. I feel like every time we delve into Simon Sinek's work, there's a new layer to uncover.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, right? Except this onion leads to profound insights about human behavior and motivation.
It's fascinating.
And speaking of layers, one of the things that really struck me about Start With Why is how it emphasizes the importance of authenticity in building trust and loyalty.
Oh, it's so important. It's like the bedrock of any strong relationship, whether we're talking about companies and their customers or even personal relationships. Think about it.
Yeah.
When you feel like someone is being genuine with you, you're more likely to trust them, right?
Absolutely. And Sinek points out that while those flashy, manipulative tactics like those crazy discounts or fear-mongering,
Right.
they might bring some short-term gains, but they ultimately erode trust.
Yeah.
It's like building a house on sand.
Mm.
It might look good for a while, but eventually it's all going to come crashing down.
Because it lacks that genuine connection, that shared sense of purpose. It's all surface level.
Yeah.
And people can sense that.
It's like trying to force a friendship.
Exactly.
It just feels awkward and inauthentic. But when you communicate your why authentically,
Yes.
you're inviting people to connect with you on a deeper level. It's like saying, hey, this is what I believe in. This is what drives me. And if you resonate with that, let's walk this path together.
And you know, it's fascinating because Sinek doesn't just rely on anecdotal evidence or feel-good stories. He brings in some hard science to back up his claims. He talks about the limbic system, the part of our brain that's responsible for emotions and decision-making.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker.
What's the kicker?
It doesn't process language.
Wait, what? So our feelings are making decisions before our logical brain even gets a say in the matter.
Yeah.
Like, my heart is already sold before my head knows why.
Think of it this way. Imagine the limbic system is like a heart that feels and reacts to the world before the mind can even put it into words.
Wow.
It's why we're often drawn to things, people, or ideas on an emotional level before we can fully articulate why.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It explains why we sometimes make decisions that our logical minds can't quite comprehend.
Right.
Like, why did I buy that? Or why am I so drawn to that person?
Right.
It's like our heart already knows the answer, and our mind is just trying to catch up.
And that's where the power of why comes in. When you tap into that emotional core, you're speaking directly to the limbic system.
Okay.
You're giving people a feeling that they can connect with, even if they can't immediately explain it.
So it's not about manipulating people's emotions. It's about being authentic, or
Yeah.
genuinely believing in what you're doing, and letting that passion shine through.
Because, let's be real, people can spot a fake a mile away. We've all encountered those brands or individuals who try way too hard to be something they're not, and it just comes across as cringeworthy.
Totally. It's like wearing a shirt that's 3 sizes too small.
Yeah.
It's just uncomfortable for everyone involved. But when someone is genuinely passionate about their why, it's magnetic.
Yeah.
It draws people in, it inspires them, and it makes them want to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Like a bonfire on a chilly night, people are naturally drawn to its warmth and light.
I love that.
And, it's not just about attracting people. It's also about keeping them engaged, about building that lasting loyalty. Sinek talks about how even when organizations or individuals achieve great success, there's this danger of losing sight of their why.
It's like the classic tale of the band that starts out in a garage, fueled by pure passion and the desire to make music that moves people. And they hit it big, start playing in stadiums,
Right.
and suddenly they're surrounded by managers, record execs, and marketing gurus, all telling them what to do. And somewhere along the way, that original spark, that why, that ignited your journey, starts to flicker and fade.
It's the challenge of success, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you grow and achieve your goals, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day operations, the logistics, the numbers, and before you know it, you're so focused on the trees that you can't see the forest anymore.
And it's not always a conscious decision. It's like a slow drift, a gradual erosion of that core purpose.
Right.
That's why Sinek emphasizes the importance of constantly revisiting and reaffirming your why.
Right.
It's not a one-time exercise.
No?
It's an ongoing process, like checking your compass regularly to make sure you're still heading in the right direction.
And that applies to individuals just as much as it does to organizations.
I see.
We all need those moments of reflection, those gut checks, where we ask ourselves, am I still aligned with my why? Am I still passionate about what I'm doing? Or have I veered off course?
Because if the answer is no, then it's time for a course correction.
It is.
It might feel scary,
Yeah.
but sometimes you have to shake things up to break free from the routine, to realign yourself with your true purpose.
It's a courageous act to reevaluate your path and make changes when necessary. It takes guts to admit you might be on the wrong track and be willing to make a U-turn. But it's so worth it because when you're living in alignment with your why, you unlock this incredible energy and sense of fulfillment.
It's like you're finally driving in the right lane.
And one of the most reassuring things about Start With Why is that it's never too late to rediscover your why, even if you strayed from it, even if it feels like a distant memory. It's always there waiting to be rekindled. It's like a pilot light that just needs a little spark to ignite that flame again.
I love that analogy. It's so hopeful because sometimes life throws us curveballs. We get caught up in the hustle and bustle.
Right.
And we lose sight of what truly matters.
We do.
But it's never too late to come back to ourselves, to reconnect with that inner compass. And, I think that's a message that resonates so deeply with so many people, especially in today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with distractions and external pressures. We're told to chase success, to climb the ladder.
Right.
But sometimes we forget to ask ourselves, why are we climbing this ladder in the first place?
Yeah.
Where is it even leading us?
Questions.
We become so focused on the climb that we forget to enjoy the view, or worse, realize we're on the wrong mountain entirely. And that's why Start With Why is such a powerful and timely book. It reminds us to pause, to take a step back from the madness, and reconnect with that deeper purpose that gives our lives meaning and direction.
Because when we lead with why, everything changes.
Yeah.
We're not just going through the motions. We're driven by a sense of purpose, a belief that what we're doing matters, and that makes all the difference.
We become more than just cogs in a machine. We become active participants in shaping our own destinies and making a positive impact on the world now. Before we wrap up this part of our conversation on Start With Why, I want to turn the spotlight on you, our amazing listeners.
That's right.
We've been talking a lot about the power of why, but we want to hear from you.
We do.
What's resonated with you most from this book? Have you had any aha moments? Have you started thinking about your own why in a new way? We're all ears.
Yeah.
Share your thoughts with us on social media. Slide into our DMs, leave a voicemail, set a carrier pigeon, whatever works for you.
Because this is a conversation, not a lecture. We want to hear your voices, your insights, your experiences.
And when we come back after a quick break, we're going to dive into the practical side of Start With Why, exploring how we can all start incorporating its powerful message into our daily lives. So stay tuned, folks. We're just getting started. Welcome back to Wealth of Words. We've been on quite a journey with Simon Sinek's Start With Why, exploring the power of purpose and its impact on leadership trust and even our brain chemistry. But now it's time to roll up our sleeves and get practical.
Because it's one thing to grasp the concept of starting with why, and another to actually apply it in our own lives. So for our listeners who are thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but where do I even begin? Let's break it down.
Right. Isabella, lay it on us.
Okay.
What's step one in this why-finding mission?
Well, it starts with some good old-fashioned introspection. We need to carve out some time to define our why. And I'm not talking about just jotting down a few buzzwords on a sticky note.
Right.
This requires some serious serious soul-searching.
So it's like going on a personal retreat. But instead of exotic beaches and fruity cocktails, we're exploring the depths of our own values and passions.
Exactly. It's about peeling back the layers, reflecting on what truly motivates us, what gets us fired up, what makes us want to jump out of bed in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, it's not always easy.
Right.
It can be messy, uncomfortable, even a little scary at times, but trust me, it's so worth it.
I bet.
Because once you've unearthed your why, it becomes your guiding star,
Okay.
your internal compass,
So,
your
yeah.
personal lighthouse in the storm.
It's like finding that missing puzzle piece that suddenly makes everything click into place. And once we've defined our why, how do we go about actually living it, breathing it, making it a tangible part of our lives?
That's where the art of authentic communication comes in, and this is where a lot of people stumble. It's not about shouting your why from the rooftops or plastering it all over your social media.
Right.
It's about weaving it into the fabric of your life, into your interactions, your decisions, the way you present yourself to the world.
It's like that subtle scent of your favorite perfume. You don't need to douse yourself in it for people to notice. It's just they're lingering in the air, making a statement without being overpowering.
That's a perfect analogy, and it's important to remember this isn't about manipulation or trying to trick people into buying into your why. It's about genuine connection, about attracting people who resonate with your values and beliefs. It's about building a tribe, a community, a movement of like-minded individuals who are all rowing in the same direction.
And I think a lot of people might be listening to this and thinking, okay, but I'm not running a Fortune 500 company or leading a social movement. How does this start with why thing apply to me? I'm just trying to get through the day, pay my bills, and maybe have a little fun along the way.
And that's a valid question, but here's the beauty of Start With Why. Its message is universal. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO, an entrepreneur, a stay-at-home parent, a student, or just trying to figure out your next move in life.
Right.
Having a clear why gives you direction, it fuels your motivation, it helps you make decisions that are aligned with your values.
It's like having that personalized GPS system that guides you towards a destination that's meaningful to you, not just some random address someone else programmed into the system.
And it's not just about career or big life decisions. Starting with why can even transform your relationships.
Yeah.
When you're clear about your own values and what you stand for, you're more likely to attract people who share those same beliefs, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, or even your interactions with colleagues and family members. Leading with why can help you build stronger, more fulfilling connections.
It's like that invisible thread that draws like-minded souls together.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up our exploration of Start With Why, I want to leave our listeners with this final thought. Imagine a world where everyone embraces the power of why. A world where decisions are driven by purpose, not just profit, where leaders inspire rather than command, and where individuals are empowered to chase their dreams with passion and conviction.
It's a beautiful vision, isn't it? And it all starts with each of us taking the time to discover our own why, and then courageously living it, sharing it, and making it a driving force in our lives.
So, dear listener, we'll leave you with this question. What's your why? And how can you start weaving it into the tapestry of your life, your work and your interactions with the world? Take some time to ponder, that maybe journal about it, meditate on it, or just have a good old-fashioned conversation with yourself or someone you trust, because the world needs your why. It needs your unique voice, your passion, your contribution. Don't be afraid to let it shine.
And if you're looking for more guidance on this journey, we highly recommend checking out Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's a book that has the power to spark a revolution, starting with you.
That's it for this episode of Wealth of Words. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit life-changing. Until next time, keep those pages turning and those minds expanding.